Here we are again. Hi. Okay, so I have this lovely new camera. Let's see if we can see here. Sitting on the stove. It's like a document camera, you know. Oh, no, Cortana, we're not talking to you. Thank you, though. Ooh, yeah, there's a good picture. Okay. It's got its own light source, which you can see here. It's the blue light. Yeah, I'll wave my knife around so that you know I'm still with you. Click over here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so first we're cutting up our sweet potatoes. And really I'm not in the best space. But that's because my kitchen is the size of a thumbtack. And it's just how I have to do it. So we've got sweet potato, good old beets, carrots, and I already started chopping the sweet potato because I started chopping. I woke up and I thought, it's cold and it's still raining and I'm going to be hungry. And I may as well just make the soup. And then I thought, well, you know, as long as I'm doing it, I may as well share the wealth because sometimes there's people who haven't never made the soup and they need to know how. So here we are. So first you get your sweet potato. You wash it. Wash all your vegetables. I didn't show that part. And use sweet potatoes. Not yams. Sweet potatoes. Not yams. Sweet potatoes look like this, probably. They're lighter instead of that darker caramel color. Because yams are just too sugary. They're too sweet, really. Sweet potatoes have so much good fiber and they're just delish. In fact, you know what? One of these days I'm going to make sweet potato chips for you because they are so good. I mean, they're not like what you should eat every day because there's so much oil. But then again, use olive oil and not so bad because it's those other oils. Corn oil, don't use corn oil. Just don't. Just don't. It's I mean, look up your own reasons why not, but it's really not good for you. All that corn and spud potatoes that they feed everybody as a regular French fry and corn, meat and potato kind of lifestyle. We don't want that. I mean, the body doesn't really want that. It's just heavy. It just makes you more hungry again. And most of all, it makes you fat. Because you know what? That tummy protruding, that gut, that beer belly or whatever you want to call it, is not fat. It's waste that hasn't been eliminated. Oh, I know, it's so disturbing. But fast for a few days and watch it disappear. Fast for a couple of weeks and blow your mind. Seriously though, it's just not needed. There's so many better things to eat, like sweet potatoes. And so I'm pouring on a little olive oil. I put some in the pan first. The oven is heating at 460, a little higher than usual. Usually I put it around 445. Actually, maybe I'll just bring it down a couple. Oh, that's the wrong way. 450. That sounds good. So, yeah, cut the ends off your veggies because they've been places. Some people like to peel their carrots first. I just don't even care anymore. I do care. I care it. I care it a lot. I care it enough. Okay, so check it out. Chop, 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 right? Got our little circles. But to make them really good, give them a couple more chops. So one reason you want smaller pieces of vegetables instead of bigger pieces of vegetables is that then there's more surface area and it releases more water. And then you go to cook it. Hey, come back here, you. Yeah, look out, they roll away. Then they get more roasty instead of being a big chunk with just roasted on the outside. You get more surface area of roasted goodness. Everyone likes surface area. It tastes better and it's yummier in the soup. So one thing you want is a big sharp knife. And if it's little hands you're using, if you're someone youngerish, smallerish, then get still a big kind of sharp knife, only it could be shorter because, well, it'd be a lot to handle, right? Haha. There's different knives out there. But just like a paring knife or a steak knife, they just don't have the oomph. You need some weight behind it to bring that chop on down and cut through, because the vegetables are hard when they're raw. Yes, they are. They are stiff, and you don't want your knife to be all bouncing off, because then what you do cut off goes flying across the room, and you don't want to pick it back up off the floor. The floor may look clean, but you're walking around there. If you have pets, then there's even, let's face it, we all shed hair. We're hairy people. We just are. And skin flakes. It's a fact of life. Just admit it and deal with it by not picking food off of the floor. And if it's just one little carrot circle, then seriously, you've got a lot more carrot circles. The one that got away is okay. It's okay for one to get away, or 2 or 3 even, because you've got plenty more. And no matter how clean that floor seems, you don't want to wash floor off of your food and then chance that there's some hidden sneaky piece of something that you didn't see not wash off that ends up in the soup. Ew. Oh yeah, yum. Oh, you didn't see me off camera washing my hands first, but it happened. You better believe it happened. Okay, more olive oil. Drizzle, drizzle. And then we've got our beet, which is also already washed. So this is the thick beet skin, right? Some people say, but hey, that beet skin's awful thick and leathery and chewy like that. Well, then you can cut it off. You might use a peeler to cut it off, but you're going to want a sharp peeler if that's what you're doing. See, I'm going to cut off some of it for you so you can see. But you know what? It's good fiber that goes through you too. And we want that. We want that going through our bodies and taking out what doesn't belong there. And if we're going to eat anyway, then make sure it's going to come back out again, right? Okay, so I left some because I like some. Oh, I should have showed you. Here I will now. The heart of the beets. Sometimes the beets are so red But later, I poop purple. It's true. It's happened. I was so surprised when that happened. I was like, whoa, no way. There we go. Heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Looks like a little steak, doesn't it? Is it focused in? I hope it's focused in well. Okay, let's chop these guys up. Because there's a lot of water in beets. They're very dense. And you want to be able to have a good roast. You don't want to have a lot of water left in there. I mean, some, but it's going to go into the soup. But the point is to have it cooked well and flavorful, but not burnt to ashes. So speaking of density, let's talk about density for a second. It's all about density, isn't it? Vibration and density, sustain, all that business. So if you have a beet, one whole beet, right? You can't see through it. I mean, right? Are we seeing through the beet? No, it's very, very dense. But then when you slice it, or just use a little of it, let's see if we can make a really thin slice. There we go. And we can almost see through it because it's less dense, right? Now, I don't know if I can chop a piece thin enough to really see through. But if we juice the beet juice, good stuff, then you can start seeing through it. And if you just have a little bit and you add it to water, which has its density, but it's also clear, right? Water itself, its molecules are dense together, but its pigment is clear for us, whatever our eyes are doing. So these are still kind of chunky. So then, in that way, with just a couple of drops of beet juice and water, that's a way to see through a beet. That's a way to make it light. So what was dark then became light through dilution. It's dilute. You know what they say? That every drop of water contains the information of all the other drops of water. I wonder if that's true for every single drop of water everywhere, or just the water that it's been near. Or if it's like 100 monkey thing, like, you know, when you teach 100 monkeys something on one side of the world. What was it they taught them? How to dip their food in salt water, something like that. And then after they learned it, the 100 monkeys that they had in the control group on the other side of the world who hadn't been taught suddenly started doing it. What? It's true. That's what they say. That's what they did. That's what they made happen. So water's pretty important stuff, and it's in all of us. So if you think about it, what we're learning then, and then we release it back into the water, if you know what I'm saying. If it's taking everything we learned and then becoming part of the other water, and then after it's, you know, moved on and filtered through and sent to the ocean and up in the sky and the rain and comes back down as clean water again and comes back in a stream and somewhere and goes through the filter and it's clean and comes back to us to drink. Do we have information of all the other water? I don't know, man. Hey, look at that. Vegetables. So I put more oil, like you just saw. Got it all in there. Make sure it's on the sides of my little roaster here so it doesn't get call? Burning marks. There's always something to scrub off the roaster, but yeah. Pyrex, yay, Pyrex. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. La la la, wash my hands. La 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 la, wash my hands. Always gonna wash my hands. Yay, hand washing. Good stuff. And I'll show you the olive oil I'm using is California. How do we do it? Like that so you can read it? Extra virgin olive oil. It's got this really nice, I like this pop-up drizzle maker. And it's kosher. Put my glasses on. There's a kosher mark. Pretty sure it's kosher. I always buy kosher things. Okay, because somebody watched. Yeah, so, it's hot in there. Okay, so the oven already told us it's ready.